So there's a big debate on border security and the asylum process today, and there's also a chance to find out the exact cost of what the Tories had done under the scheme. And it was costing the taxpayer around £700 million. And that's what's already been spent. It's going to be over £10 billion over 10 years. Naturally, this has been scrapped so the money can be used more wisely. James Cleverly, the former Home Secretary and now the Shadow Home Secretary, tried to use his question as a bit of a leadership speech, and this was actually pointed out to him. But he also thinks that they've got a gotcha. They seem to think they're putting Labour MPs on the spot by asking where they're going to send asylum seekers from Afghanistan, Syria or Iran. And it's like, aha, what are you going to do with them? Where are you going to send them? But what they're failing to understand is they're fleeing from war-torn countries, or countries that have regimes where they're going to be persecuted or kidnapped or killed. So they're asylum seekers, and they have a legitimate right to seek asylum, regardless of how they get to the UK. It wouldn't be shipped back there anyway because they're not safe countries to ship back to. Their application for asylum would be processed, and if they had a legitimate claim, like they were fleeing the Taliban, for example, then they would be allowed to stay. So I don't understand where this gotcha moment's coming from, or how they think it's a win. And does that mean that he admits that these are not economic migrants? So here he is, James Cleverly, being not very clever.
The fact there is now no safe third country to return people to who cannot be returned home means that we ask, where is she going to send the people who come here from countries like Afghanistan or Iran, in Syria? Has she started negotiations on returns agreements with the Taliban or the Ayatollahs of Iran or Assad in Syria? And if she's not going to send anyone that arrives here on small boats to Rwanda, which local authorities will she be sending people to? We were closing hotels when I was in government, and I wonder which local authorities will be receiving those asylum seekers. If not Rwanda, will it be Rochdale or Romford or Richmond? And most importantly, can the Right Honourable Lady now confirm that if you arrive here illegally in a small boat, you will be able to claim asylum? And finally, will she confirm how long after she briefed the media that she was scrapping the partnership with Rwanda did she have the courtesy to speak directly with the Rwandan government? And it is because we now have no deterrent that nobody wants to take on the role of the head of her new so-called border command. The reality is, everybody knows, including the people smugglers, that the small boat problem is going to get worse. Indeed, has already got worse under Labour because they have no deterrent. People are being sold a lie when they're being smuggled into this country across the busiest shipping lanes. And we do need to stop them.
I presume this was the first of the Conservative leadership speeches, contest speeches that we have heard today. Let me just respond to some of the things that the Shadow Home Secretary has said. Look, you realise, let's all be very clear, what it is we have inherited from him and from his party. We've had the highest level of spring crossings ever. That is what has happened under his party. We've had gangs left to wreak havoc, not just along the French coast, but across our border, through our country, and back through Europe as well. We've got asylum supports costs set to rise to £30 to £40 billion over the next 4 years as a result of his decisions and his party. And as for this idea about deterrent, I'm really sorry. I'm sorry. 4 volunteers being sent to Rwanda isn't a deterrent to anyone for anything at all. And the idea that he would spend £10 billion on this fantasy, this fiction, this gimmick, rather than ever do the hard graft. The problem is, people enter the asylum system and they never ever leave. He didn't even bring in the operational arrangements to try and properly take decisions, and his Home Office effectively stopped taking the majority of asylum decisions in May. Maybe he didn't even know, but that is what's happened in his Home Office. Mr. Speaker, this party and this government doesn't believe in amnesties. We think the rules need to be respected and enforced. His party is the one who has actually given an effective amnesty to people who can stay in the asylum system forever. We believe the rules should be enforced. The problem is actually that is what the Shadow Home Secretary believes too. I don't think he believes any of the stuff that he said. He's only saying it for his Tory leadership contest. He's just too weak to tell his party the truth. He thought the whole policy on Rwanda was batshit, and then he went out to bat for it. It's just not serious.
At the weekend, the former Chancellor Jeremy Hunt admitted they lied during the election, and you can see what he lied about in the video that's on screen now. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, and I'll see you next time.